Almost every physical conveyance possible has been on here. I've seen bicycles, wheelchairs, strollers, mountain bikes, road bikes, skaters. My wife and I have cross-country skied it. You've seen three-generation families, the 80-year-old, the 60-year-old, the 40-year-old. I've seen people talking in sign language. What else can you imagine? It's been here and we've watched it happen.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Andy Riley. I was asked to MC this, I think, because I grew up about a mile from here and walked this before it was a trail, when it was an abandoned rail line, but mostly because I had the good fortune of running into two gentlemen, Mike Fusco and Barry Pinkowitz, earlier on in the project.
Initially, the trail effort was under the auspices of the Delaware County Bicycle Coalition. Then it shifted to the Chester Ridley Crum Watershed Association. And then after that, Mike Fusco, our founder, incorporated us as a 501c3 nonprofit, Friends of the Chester Creek Branch Incorporated.
And Mike, in that calm way, said, you know, I knew where you grew up and I know about your family, and he says, I'd like to take a walk with you. And Mike shows up with this real tall guy, Barry, and they sold their vision of what they saw as a great convert from a rail to a trail. When Mike and Barry first approached me and we walked the trail and they told me about their vision, it's just a sort of a daunting task when you think about it. The first thing I thought about is, well, who owns it?
I think the biggest part of this was trying to get SEPTA to sit down and talk to us.
You know, SEPTA is a government entity. You figure they move like molasses.
Until we got a lease from SEPTA to be able to do this, it couldn't really become a reality. And I think it took maybe 15 years just to get them to talk to us.
The next individual who's going to speak is the keynote speaker for today, who really needs no introduction. I am fortunate I met him I guess it's almost 15, 20 years ago now, and he's the president of the trail group, Barry Pinkowitz. Barry?
Thank you. This, I know everybody's mentioning my name and Mike's name, but it was a group of people that took to this trail. And I can't say enough for the people that are on the board for the Friends of the Chester Creek.
It's all about the leadership of the Trails Group. When they first came forward, they had to sell the idea. I got to tell you, as a member of County Council, the people on County Council now, they get pitched all the time for money. And they don't have a large pocket of money. So to get them engaged, I credit Mike and Barry and the Trail Group. It's a big deal.
More than 23 years ago, Michael G. Fusco saw the potential in a long abandoned rail line running parallel to the Chester Creek. Mike, along with a small group of private citizens, volunteered their time for years in acquiring the lease, of fundraising, applying for grants, negotiating with many different government entities, and giving presentations wherever they could to build support within the local community. Mike was tireless in leading these efforts. Most people would have given up, but he kept at it relentlessly year after year, despite many setbacks and obstacles.
Mike never would be frustrated in any type of hurdle or roadblock. Mike had a positive, forward, easy manner about him. And although I was a county commissioner, kind of go to battle for him, he never made demands.
Michael had a passion to get to the end point, but in doing that, he had an empathy and understanding of people that could bring out the best in them.
It was shortly after his father died suddenly, and he said, this is a project I want to pursue. And he explained it to me, and then he would take me on rail trails.
He had a vision that no one else could see.
And I think the need to move forward.
He was the perfect blend of persistence and gentility, and he just could see the future. He could see what could happen.
Sadly, we lost Mike in 2014, shortly before construction began, leaving his lovely wife, Val, and all of us to remember and celebrate his lasting legacy. Not surprisingly, the day before he passed away, Mike was out on the trail to be shortly after a heavy snowstorm. He must be delighted to see how many thousands of people have used the Chester Creek Trail already, young and old, on foot or on bicycle. He would love to have seen the variety of trail dogs too, since his dogs, Charlie and Frankie, were honorary board members. The entire board is grateful for the support of local government officials, non-for-profit organizations, and all the members of the Friends of the Chester Creek branch and the many supporters who have made this project a reality. Without all of you, this trail would have never been possible. This is especially true now that the trail is part of a countywide plan to preserve and promote open space and outdoor recreational opportunities throughout Delaware County. It is deeply gratifying to know that the next section of this trail is already in the design stages, and we look forward to the day that we become a connected part with the Circuit Trail Network encompassing Greater Philadelphia. If Mike was here today, he'd say to all of you, happy trails until we meet again. Thank you so much.
Great job.
I'd just like to say one other thing, if I may. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the love and support. When Michael died, I was told that his journey was over, but mine would continue. And how we see that his journey continues, it's not over. And I just want to, there's so many people to thank. I also would like to mention someone that isn't here too, John Pickett, who was very helpful to Mike. He always spoke of him. Thank you. I'd like to say another quote that another brilliant man said, look deep into nature and then you will understand everything. That was Albert Einstein, which I found interesting. I didn't know that he was a naturalist like Michael, but I think it's so true, because that's what Michael said before this was built. He said, look at all this natural beauty that's here for people to enjoy. So thank you so much for all the love and support. Thank you.
If you tried to take a trail and put it somewhere, you'd never find a more picturesque spot. Someone just has seen a bald eagle here. It's just a beautiful area. So to me, it's about having people come to the trail, exercise, but also kind of rediscover an area of their town they've never known.
Essentially what it does is it brings people back to the parts of this area that used to be functional back historically, and allows them to enjoy the area and places where they wouldn't be able to get to otherwise because of the railroad bed.
I think that this is a jewel for Delaware County, and I always said that when in front of Middletown Township Delaware County Council that this was a jewel, and people that walk this and see how beautiful this trail is and the water and the trestles that are rebuilt on this trail. It's a diamond in the rough.
I especially like the contrast between the trail and the old industrial sites. I live nearby and I'm a supporter of the trail, so I had to be here for the opening ceremony. Had to be here and figured out while I'm here I might as well enjoy the trail too.
Well, this is like the culmination of so many years of work, and is it ever going to happen? Is it ever going to really come to fruition?
There's many projects and ideas that go nowhere, but this one had an ending, and it's a collaboration. I mean, the county obviously was critical because SEPTA wouldn't give the land to the Trails Group. They were worried about liability, but SEPTA's to be applauded. They stepped in and did it, and the county stepped up.
I mean, it was a long time. 23 years to get to this point, but we have a great team, and if it wasn't for the board and our membership, I can't say enough for our membership and the people that have supported this trail over the years.
Well, it's hard work, but it's really gratifying, and I mean, especially in today's polarized environment, this is truly a nonpartisan thing that most people agree on, that once a trail is built, people are really supportive of it.
It was really a big part of our lives, and unfortunately 2 days before he passed, he was just at a meeting and he had signed something, I think with the county council, and he said, Val, this is happening, it's going to happen. And he was just so thrilled and excited. It's bittersweet today, but wonderful, and all the love and support of the people, the council, and to see everybody enjoying it. People get it. People get him and what he was trying to do.
It was just really gratifying to see the community come together and to see how many elected officials were involved and came today, and to see members of the community, and also to really be able to celebrate Mike's legacy.
We as Middletown Township Council appreciate this part of the trail coming through our township, and we want to recognize his untiring efforts in making this come to fruition. So, Dean Helm, if you would please, just want to unveil the dedication to Michael G. Fusco Memorial Bridge, which will be placed on the trail. Thank you.
to some extent, other than your children, what's your legacy? You know, when we're all gone. So this is a physical thing that you can point to that you helped create.
My husband said this will be a place for generations to enjoy. The natural beauty will be here for generations to come. So it's a very special day.
You know, the kids who will be using this, they won't know Mike Fusco's name from anyone. But here's an individual who dedicated a large share of his life as a volunteer, as an unpaid position, to bring forth this project. And many times he could have been frustrated and walked away. He didn't. He stayed with it. So I just tip my hat to Mike and the Trails group.
I think he's smiling down today, and I think he's proud of the board, I think, for carrying on his dream and bringing it to reality.
I know he is grinning from one ear to the other as he looked down on this. He had a grin that would light up a room, and that's why there's sunshine. That's why there's not a cloud in the sky, because he's grinning and saying, it's done.